All right, folks, we've done Weddle, we've done Pickle, and now it is time for Poeltl, named after Jakob Poeltl in the NBA, of course. And so this is kind of the same thing as, what Pickle is and what Weddle is. It's just the NBA version. You get 8 guesses. The difference here is that you can see a silhouette of the player. Now, in the interest of fairness, for the other ones, because I don't have that option here, I'm going to do my very best to not use a silhouette unless we are down to our final 2 guesses, and I am absolutely, positively stuck, and I have absolutely no clue. Maybe the silhouette will help me, but it usually wouldn't help me unless I already knew who the player, unless I already knew that player. So we will see. So we are going to start out with somebody who I actually think is a really good guess to start. You know what? Instead of Jason Tatum, I'm actually going to go Jaylen Brown because Jason Tatum's jersey number is 0, so that doesn't really tell us anything. So I'm going to go Jaylen Brown to start. Okay, so above, obviously, number 7, not that different than, not that much different than 0, but at the same time, still pretty good to get that option. Younger than 27. Either 6'7" or 6'8", does play the forward position, and is not in any of these. So that means that they probably are out west, and they play forward. So I'm going to go with another Jalen. I'm going to go with Jalen Williams, an absolute stud. Okay, perfect. So we do have a lot of good stuff here. So they are in the Western Conference, but they're not in the same division as the Denver Nuggets, okay? So they do play, obviously plays forward, has to be exactly 6'7" based on this, and they are exactly 24 years old. So I am automatically thinking Sacramento Kings, and I am automatically thinking Keegan Murray. Does Keegan Murray fit this bill? Okay. Now, interesting, Jalen Williams, it said, doesn't have a jersey number. I don't know how that works. I didn't notice that the first time. Okay, so they are in the Pacific Conference, and they are in the West. They are 24 years old, and I guess Keegan Murray was 6'8", he's not 6'7". My apologies, I did not know that. So we got to continue going up with the jersey number. So they are in the Pacific Conference, and so that means, obviously, Lakers-Clippers. So we're going to start with Lakers and Clippers to just kind of go from there. And see what happens. So I think Cam Reddish is 6'7". The problem is I don't know if he's 24. So I'm going to go Cam Reddish and see if that is the guy. It is not, and he is 6'8". Okay, so I didn't realize he wore number 5, so fair enough. So we already know not the Kings, not the Lakers, but in this division. Okay, so immediately, my mind goes to Clippers, okay? My mind goes to the LA Clippers. So, the Clippers. Could also be, obviously, the Phoenix Suns. Could also be the Phoenix Suns, of course. We can't forget that. But I'm going to try Clippers. Norman Powell is too old. I think he's 27 or 28 years old, so he would be too old. And plus, I only think he's like 6'5", anyway. We guess 3 straight 6'8" guys. Like, I'm off by, like, an inch on all of that. Who on the Clippers fits this bill? That's the question. And I don't know if there's an answer to that. So let's move on to let's move on to the Phoenix Suns. Royce O'Neal comes to mind, but I think he's too old. So I think he is 6'7", and I would classify him as a forward. So I'm going to just do Royce O'Neal because I have a few guesses to spare. Once again, okay, Royce O'Neal were 00. Did not, I was not aware of that. I don't know jersey numbers, to be honest with you guys. So again, every single Pacific Division team outside of Phoenix, I have guessed, I believe. Unless I'm missing one. I could be missing one. But goodness gracious. Yeah, that's frustrating because now I have to think Clippers. They're a pretty deep team. Let's go Terrence Mann. I'm sorry. Do I not know how to spell Terrence Mann? Okay. Terrence Mann. Okay, so he does play for the Clippers. So we do know that. And I guess Terrence Mann's classified as a guard. Okay. All right. So we now know Clippers. And I think at this point it is fair to go to the silhouette because I am struggling to get this one. And I don't know if that helps. I don't know if that helps at all. So this is somebody that plays for the Clippers. This is somebody that is obviously fairly young, only 24 years old. Is 6'7", plays for the Clippers. So I'm trying to think of guys on that team. And I just don't know a lot of their young guys. I just don't know their young guys right now. So this might be an L for me on our first NBA hurdle, which is quite unfortunate. Even though I do know what position they play, how tall they are, how old they are, what team they play for, I just don't have that person in my mind. I just don't, because the Clippers are a very deep team. And yet I do not know who played. I mean, it's probably somebody quite obvious, too. Like, this silhouette here is vaguely familiar. It is vaguely familiar. But that doesn't help me if it's vaguely familiar. It doesn't matter if it's vaguely familiar. So I think at this point, I'm just not going to know. I think it's just where we're at this point. So, unless somebody just comes to mind that I'm not thinking of here on the Clippers, I mean, I'm going through the entire Rolodex of the roster in my head. Zubats, Tice, at center. I think they may have had one more center, but I don't remember who it was. Terrence Mann, Royce O'Neal, although Royce O'Neal's actually on the Suns. I don't know why I thought Royce O'Neal. I guess it's probably just their backup three, who most likely, and that's Norman Powell. That's Norman Powell. So, Bones Highland, obviously no longer Russell Westbrook, but Russell Westbrook was on the team last year, and James Harden. Paul George was on the team last year. Kawhi Leonard was on the team last year. But I'm missing the backup three, clearly. I'm clearly missing the backup three. It has to be, because that's the only position in my brain that I'm skipping over, and I just don't know who it is. So I think at this point, I'm just going to have to take my losses. I obviously know it's not Kawhi. I'm just going to keep on guessing Clippers players until I get it wrong. Kobe Brown. Yeah, see, I'm not getting Kobe Brown. I don't know anything about Kobe Brown. I didn't know Kobe Brown played for the Clippers. Is he like their 15th guy? I mean, that seemed... This is a very, very... This is a very, very niche pick for the first one. That seems pretty crazy. I'm looking up what their rotation was like last year. This is according to ESPN, what their depth chart looked like. Kobe Brown is not here. I just want to let everybody know, Kobe Brown is not here. Okay? So, this is the entirety of the roster for the LA Clippers. Now, this is obviously this year, so you can take that with a grain of salt. By the way, Kobe Brown's also listed as a guard on ESPN. So, he is here now, but he's not on the depth chart. He's not on their depth chart, which means that he had to have been in the G League for most of the year. So, yeah, that there's not a chance I'm getting Kobe Brown. That's crazy. Okay. So now I'm going to look at Basketball Reference to see what their rotation was like last year. Obviously, Kobe Brown didn't start a single game for them. Yeah, and I just want everybody to know that in the 2023/2024 depth chart that I'm looking at, Kobe Brown is listed as a power forward at 6'7". He played a total of 394 minutes, averaging 2 points, 1.5 rebounds, and a half of assist for the entirety of the season. He only played less minutes than a select few people that were either on two-way contracts, were kicked out of the league, or were traded. He played the least amount of minutes on the Clippers last year. That seems like a crazy person to have, and I know I'm ranting for no reason, but it is what it is. So, I'll take my loss. I'm a little frustrated about it because I don't feel like I was given much of a chance here, but it is what it is. We're going to move on to day number 2, and hopefully that'll bring a little bit better luck. Okay, time for another NBA Poeltl. Last one did not go well. I was very frustrated with Poeltl here. And so I am going to, I'm just going to hope that today is a little bit better and they don't give me somebody that's just absolutely ridiculous. Jaylen Brown, we'll go Jaylen Brown here. Okay, so this is actually a lot of information. So they are in the Atlantic Division. They are smaller than 6'6", despite being actually they're not a forward, so I don't know why I thought that was highlighted green. So they're not on the Celtics, but they are in the Atlantic Division, which means Sixers, Raptors, Knicks, or Nets. Lower than number 7. I believe Cam Thomas wears the number 0. So I'm going to go Cam Thomas. No, he wears number 24. I don't know why I thought he wore number 0. I'm tripping. Okay, but they are a guard. And they do not play for Brooklyn. Okie dokie. So that's a good thing. So since they are in between 6 and 6'3", obviously we already knew that. That means that they are 6'4" or 6'5". Unfortunately, that didn't really narrow it down. And by the way, didn't even pay attention to the age. So this was just a stupid guess, quite frankly. Just being honest with you. Basically, all it did was confirm that he doesn't play for Brooklyn and that he does have a guard designation, at least. So, here we go. The age is going to be 28 or 29. So that also helps. Kind of thinking through here, I am looking, it's clearly not Jalen Brunson. He's too short. So I am going to go Dante DiVincenzo. I do think that he wears a number in between here and here, although he may be number 7, now that I think about it. I don't remember what his number is for the Knicks. I think he's 6'4", so this would qualify, and he should be in between these ages. He might be, or he may be in between these ages, but I think he's 28 or 29. We will see. Dante DiVincenzo. Okay, so he wears the number 0. I was not aware of that. I thought Cam Thomas wore 0. Wasn't aware. Didn't know that. Yeah, I'm not good with numbers. I think I said that yesterday. But the good thing is that they do play for the Knicks. And they are older than 27. Didn't realize DiVincenzo was exactly 27. I thought he was 28. So that's unfortunate. Okay, so they are in between 7 and 0. So the one that's coming to me is Miles McBride. The problem is I don't know how old Miles McBride is. It's not Miles McBride. Okay. So let's think through all of the guards that play for the Knicks. Okay. So obviously we got Jalen Brunson. That's clear. I believe Josh Hart, even though he's only 6'4", 6'5", is designated as a forward. But he would fit a lot of these categories. He wears the number 3 or the number 4, according to this. And I don't know what numbers people wear. And again, this could be somebody that they just kind of recently got here. It's not OG Anunoby, who would also be considered a guard. I don't think Miles Bridges, while he is considered a 2 guard, I don't think he is 6'4". I'm sorry, did I say Miles Bridges? Mikael Bridges, I think, is what I meant to say. I think I said Miles. I don't know which one I said, but it's Mikael Bridges, not Miles. Yeah. Whew. This is so significantly harder than Pickle. This is the funny part, is that there's so many less players in the NBA than there are in the MLB, and yet for some reason, this is just giving me so much trouble. I think it's just because they're giving you, like, the 17th man on the roster, and it's just ridiculous. And yeah, and that's the problem, is this could be somebody that I'm not even, like, aware that they're on the Knicks. You know what I mean? Like, this may not be a rotational guy that even if you watch the Knicks, you know, twice a week, like I basically did for the entirety of basketball season, I can name you most of their rotation, if not all of their rotation from last year, especially in the playoffs. I watched almost all of their playoff games. And this may be somebody that wasn't even in that rotation. This may be somebody who was in the G League for half the year and only played 200 minutes. Which, I don't know who knows this. I don't know who knows that about the Knicks, other than hardcore Knicks fans, of course. But I'm just really not sure. But I know the good thing is that they have to wear the number 3 or the number 4. I mean, I'm going to put Jalen Brunson. I don't think this is the answer. But this is the only person that's coming to me. And it's not. It's not Jalen Brunson. That's for sure. So I just wasted a guess. But we know that they are exactly 29 years of age. So this is a veteran. And this may not be updated. Also, we got to keep that in mind. So could this be somebody like an Alec Burks, who was on the Knicks for a good portion of last year? Although, no, maybe he was he with the Pistons, actually? Because I know he was traded to the Heat. But for some reason, I'm remembering him on the Knicks. Or maybe he just signed with the Heat in the offseason. I know he's on the Heat right now. I do know that. I know he's on the Pistons, but I'm pretty sure he was traded to the Knicks. I just don't know what number he had, but he would fit the profile. He's about 20. I think he's 29. He's 29 or 30. Wearing the number 4 for Alec Burks sounds right. And I just don't know of anyone else that's on this team that's a guard that would have wore that number. Could it be Malachi Flynn? Was Malachi Flynn the guy? Okay, so this is actually very updated. Malachi Flynn's actually only 6'1", so that was actually quite a poor guess, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to go Alec Burks, and I'm going to assume that this is not updated. It is updated. We're going to go 2 days in a row. We're not going to get this, fellas. My goodness. All right, I got one guess left. Let's look at the silhouette as per yesterday. Okay, so that looks like Josh Hart. And if this is Josh Hart, I'm going to be very upset, because Josh Hart is not a guard. Josh Hart is a forward. Granted, I will also say I didn't realize he was only 6'4". So if this is Josh Hart, that's going to be frustrating. It is Josh Hart. He is not a guard. He is a forward. Oh, that is frustrating. I said him early on. And now I'm going to have to go down the rabbit hole to see if they actually now designate him as a guard after this year. Okay, so ESPN designates him as a shooting guard, but Basketball Reference designates him as a small forward and sometimes a shooting guard. But it says for the last 4 to 5 years he has been designated as a small forward. So I have been trained to believe that he is a small forward. Now, obviously, it's kind of positionless basketball. It's just a little bit frustrating because I just don't think of Josh Hart as a guard. Otherwise, I probably would have gotten him before I even guessed Jalen Brunson, because I immediately passed it off. Oh, he's not a guard. He's a forward. So that's a little bit frustrating, but I guess in the end, I got him anyway with a little bit of help of the silhouette. Honestly, I probably would have just thrown Josh Hart in there anyway, because it's not like they had any other guards or people to kind of throw in there. But regardless, I got it. So first one that we actually got. Hopefully we'll get it in a few less tomorrow. So let's move on to day 3. Okay, yeah, so I just realized that I had a full day that I did this, that I was not showing my screen, which is highly unfortunate because it was my best day. I got MLB Pickle in 3, NBA Poeltl in 4, and NFL Weddle in 3 guesses. I got it all correct, and you will never see it, so you can just not believe me, I suppose. But got it fixed now, so let's hop back into Poeltl here. And I'm going to do exactly what I have been doing, and that is guessing Celtics players. And actually, I'm going to guess Drew Holiday this time. We're going to kind of move a little bit differently here. Okay. So, this is somebody that wears a very low number, either 3 or 2. They are younger than 34 by a good amount. They are a pretty big guard, 6'5 or 6'6. They do play in the Eastern Conference, but they are not in the Atlantic Division. Okay. So, a guard that is a little bit above 6'4" in the East. What number does Tyrese Halliburton wear? Okay, he wore 0. All right, so this is somebody who's in the Central. They are obviously either 3 or 2, so that didn't really help all that much. And they are exactly 6'6", and they're either 25 or they are 26 years of age. So this is a really interesting. This is really interesting round here. And just in case you guys hadn't seen, I only do the silhouette if we get to 7 or 8, and I have absolutely no idea. So I try to not use it as much as I can. Okay, Central. So that means you're looking at the Chicago Bulls, possibly. You're looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers, possibly. Cleveland Cavaliers, they have a lot of guards, but all of them are smaller than 6'5" that I can remember. How tall is Max Strus? I feel like he's only like 6'4". And I think he's older than 25 or 26 anyway. I think he's like 28. At this point, I can't recall. So I'm gonna eliminate the Cavs for now. I'm gonna go to the Bulls. I feel like Josh Giddey is 24, but he's coming to mind right now. Is he 6'6"? I'm gonna go with Josh Giddey and see if that's the answer. It is not. And he's 6'8". Oh my goodness. He's only 21? Are we for real on that? Oh, man, I really thought I had that because I knew his jersey was number 3. I did not realize he was 6'8". I honestly did not know he was that tall. But this gentleman does play for Chicago. So that's fun. Is Kobe White going to be the answer here? It is not Kobe White. He wears number 0. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Those are the 2 guards. Those are the guards, but those are the guards. But oh, is it Zach LaVine? Maybe does Zach LaVine wear number 2? Who wears number 2 for the Chicago Bulls? I don't think Zach LaVine wears the number 2. I feel like he wears like 23. Oh no! Oh, this must be one of their backups then. Oh, I'm not caught up on my Chicago Bulls. Oh, is it Lonzo? Is it Lonzo Ball? It is. It's Lonzo Ball. Okay. Well, that works for me. Okay. Yeah, Lonzo Ball. So, decent guess there. Obviously, got it correct in 5 guesses this time. A little bit more success than I had been having, obviously, that you guys have seen. So, yeah. Let's move on to day 3, 4? I don't know anymore. Especially with the mess up at don't know what day. Just going to move on to the next one. All right, everything is fixed in terms of my recording, so I think you guys are going to see this as day 5, but it's actually day 6, or maybe it's you guys are going to see this as day 4, and it's day 5. It's something like that. There's been a bunch. So we are going to continue this. News in the basketball world today, Derrick Rose retired officially. I mean, obviously a troubled career, could have been so much more than he was. I think still is the youngest MVP in history. But you know what an exciting player he was, and unfortunately injuries really demolished his overall ceiling potential, but he obviously still had a great career and played for a lot of different teams. So congrats to D Rose. Hope he is happy in retirement and that he finds something else that kind of garners up his passion. So I have kind of started. I've been doing this, guessing a bunch of really good Celtics players. I'm going to start here again with Derek White. So, all right. This is somebody that is a guard. They do play in the Eastern Conference, but not in the Atlantic Division. They are 6'3" or 6'2", and they are 29 or 28 years of age. And they are higher than the number 9, although, again, the jersey numbers don't typically help. They might a little bit as we kind of narrow things down, but right now it does not. So, okay. Let me think here. So, a 28-year-old guard. Yeah. How many of those guys are around right now? I am going to throw out a Donovan Mitchell. And the reason is because I think he fits. Actually, he might not fit number-wise, jersey number-wise. But this will at least tell me if he's in that division or not. I think he might wear the number 5. I can't even remember. Oh, no, it is Donovan Mitchell! I got another second guess! Oh, my goodness! Oh, sometimes you just got to get lucky, folks. Wow, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you cannot do much better than that. Obviously, that was pretty lucky. If you get it on the first try, you're just the luckiest man in the world. You literally guessed one in, like, however many hundred players, that 450 players or whatever it is. You know, in the league, or at least if you cut it down to a 15-man roster. So that would just be a straight guess, but getting it on the second guess is pretty darn good. That's pretty awesome. Not going to get much better than that, but we'll see if we can keep the momentum going tomorrow. Let's move on to day, I guess, for you guys, 5 or 4. I don't know. Something. All right, welcome back to NBA Poeltl. I think this is going to be the last day that I do this for this recording. I don't remember what day we're on right now because I've missed a few days. There have been some misrecords, so it's just been kind of weird. But I think this is day 5 for you guys, maybe. Maybe day 6, I don't remember. But so I was actually going back looking through, and I never actually guessed Jason Tatum. I kind of just assumed this whole time I did. So we're going to start out with guessing Jason Tatum just to see where we're at. Okay, so this is somebody who's most likely a guard, given their height discrepancy. They are 27 or 28 years old. They play in the East, and they play in the Atlantic Division. So, nice way to kind of narrow this thing down here. Unfortunately, they don't play for Boston, so that means they play for Toronto, New York Knicks, Brooklyn Nets, or the Philadelphia 76ers. And so let's start with a guard. Obviously, it's going to have to be a guard. I don't know why I said let's start with a guard. And so they have to be at least 6'5" or under. They're not going to be 6'7". They're not going to be 6'6". And then the number, unfortunately, for Jason Tatum doesn't really help because his number is 0. So every number is higher than his. Okay, so let's kind of think through some guards in the East. Jalen Brunson comes to mind. Maybe, perhaps we can get some Jalen Brunson action, and we get Jalen Brunson in 2 guesses. That is the second time that I have gotten it in 2 guesses on NBA Poeltl. So, good way to end it here. Started off rocky, not gonna lie. I was getting really tired of Poeltl, but we turned things around and got it pretty quick here. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I'm not sure the chronological order of this. I think the NFL one's going to come out first. I'm not 100% sure. It could be this one. I don't know. We will kind of see how things go and how the records go, and then just go from there. But regardless, I'm going to do more of these in the future. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.